Hello, Lina.
Hi, Dmitry. How everyone? Welcome back to another Tech Hour session.
Okay, hello everyone. So today we will discuss questions related to Google Mail integration, Outlook integration, working with Google services and Exchange services. And this video possibly will be interesting for those who are trying to set up this kind of integration. And then we will have this technical part.
Yeah, so thank you so much for this session. Obviously, this is a question I've been asked. I don't know about you, but during the training sessions that we normally do, I've gotten this question quite sometimes about Google, about Microsoft Exchange, so how to work with them. We do have articles on the Academy website, so this information is not really new, but we decided that we want to do it more in a video format where you can clearly see where the settings are coming from, where you're putting them in, because sometimes you have to really pay attention to the article to get all the settings properly, right? It's
Yeah, yeah,
it's
I
it's
agree.
really technical one. So we're hoping you'll find this very useful. And again, there's certain things that may be a little bit different for your setup. I think that's what Microsoft Exchange could be, right? So a little bit different for each organization. But generally, this should be a very good guide in how to proceed.
And if you have questions, you may also ask in the chat. Our colleagues will help us to answer questions just during this video.
Yeah. So let's get started.
Okay, let's start. So now we'll discuss how to set up integrations between Creatio and Google services and Microsoft Exchange and Microsoft 365 services. Finally, it will be important for us to make possible connections between Creatio and Gmail in order to send messages, send emails, get emails, and integrate calendars with Google. And doing similar things with Microsoft Exchange server. Also, we are able to integrate emails and calendar at Microsoft. And third disclaimer is that we will work with our cloud-based Creatio instance, and it means that it already has its own Exchange listener or email listener, so it was renamed into email listener service, which is already set up and providing connections to third-party mail servers. So we have Creatio, we have it cloud-based. It means we have already pre-set up our email listener, and now we will focus on connection to Google services and Microsoft Exchange services. The reason why we are doing this session is that many of our customers and partners experience some difficulties connecting to such items, maybe because of its complexity. So let's start and we will see how it will go. First, we will work with Google services, and of course we have to follow the manual for this. And it's maybe not so easy because this manual is quite big. So you see I'm using academy.creatio.com website. Inside of its documentation, inside of administration, base integrations, Google services. So we will have to follow this article, register with Google Workspace. So what we have to do in order to connect our Creatio instance with a Gmail server and make it possible to send emails from Google. So generally, we have just two steps for this. And the first step is register at Google Cloud Platform. So register there a project, grant proper access to proper types of API, generate keys, client ID, and the client secret in order to be used with OAuth authentication between Creatio application server and Google service. And then, so when we do such kind of registering, we will provide such obtained values into proper places to be stored at Creatio, and then our email service will work for us. I will demonstrate how it works using our example. So first, we have to get our own Google Google account, Google Mail account, and then we have to follow the console cloud google.com. So let's go there. It seems to be a place to control all of different Google Cloud settings for us. And I will tell you and explain you this, considering they are beginners of Google Cloud. So let's follow just according to this manual, and we'll try to do and see how it works. So we have to log in there. As you see, I already logged in. I'm using my private Gmail account for this, and you see some kind of previous examples which I used for doing my project. So let's try to do one more. And our manual tells us that we have to register new project there. We have to create new project, or if you already have your project, you may skip steps and start setting it up. So I will create my new project, and let's do this. We have to provide the exact name. Dima, sorry. Dima Creation Project. Let it be so. And I prefer to use no organization here. So it seems that it's a bit easy. It's up to you. So you may provide your organization name, then you will have to provide your location there. Okay, I will use no organization scenario. Now Google creates for me my daemon creation project. As you see, I have both of them. Possibly it's let it be daemon creation demo, just to make it different. So I have previously created. This one is today, just to make it unique. As you understand, I had to prepare for this session, so that's why you see some kind of previous attempts for this. So here is my name. Here is some kind of inner project ID, and we have a project number here. I will only use my name. Okay, so it seems we are right with our project. Then we have to specify, so we skipped organization and location. Okay, then let's go further, and you see that we have to grant permissions. So we may use search at the top panel in order to find Gmail API. Let's do this. Our first task is to connect Gmail for our project. So let's try to do this. Gmail API. We got it. Let's check. Then we should make sure that so we selected active project. Okay, Dima Creatio demo, Gmail API. We have to enable it for our project. All such settings are necessary just to make possible connection from email listener from Creatio side to Gmail services. And it seems we already successfully enabled this. Then we have to activate calendar API as well. Okay, let's try to do this. Google Calendar API. We also have to enable it. Clicking here. As you see, we do nothing else. It takes a while. And finally, we also have Google Calendar API enabled for our demo project at our Google Cloud settings. Okay, let's move on. And for calendar, we have to check API and services. And we have to switch to auth constant screen. Here, API and services, auth constant screen. As you see, my user interface is a bit different because of complexity of these pages. So I have to set up the type of my user who will be connected. So target users who will be connected with my project. So I prefer to use external one. If I choose internal, it tells me that I should be a Google Workspace user with administrative privileges. So I prefer to use external to make it simple. Then I have to register Creatio application here. So here we can construct our own application like Creatio app demo2, let it be so. My support email, let it be my email, no logo. And here it's one of the most important settings here, an application domain, authorized domain, creatio.com. As you see, I should set it here. App domain, creatio.com. What's next? And developer contact. Wow. Oh, I should use full address probably. An individual domain for Creatio. Okay, let's try to do this. So you see that this menu is a bit different to my. Okay, let's try to make a full address of my website as an application domain here. Should be nice. Okay, good. Policy link, no policy, no terms of service. And authorized domains. Here we also have to provide, creatio.com. Yep. Yes, here, good. And developer information, maybe we'll provide our address. Okay, save and continue. So now we register our app. Here we have to specify scopes. It's a set of, let's say, possible functions that we can use inside of our project with this connection. So let's see what manual tells us to do this. We have to specify all Gmail API except of read-only scope. Okay, and then same with calendar. And same with calendar API except of read-only. Okay, let's try to takes a while. I hope I did everything right. So now we have set up Gmail and calendar except read-only scopes. Okay, set it. As you see, we got it here. I think it's one of the most long-lasting operation here. So when we finished, we have to save and continue. Okay, save and continue. Good. Let's try to do next steps. Test users. We have to specify test users, and then we will retrieve the keys. So we will generate credentials for this. Okay, test users, and let's maybe we'll have my email. Okay. It's because I use an external user for my settings. setting and continue, and that's all. Okay. Then we will have to focus on credentials. So we will search for credentials now. We will get OAuth client, and we will have the OAuth client ID. It's one parameter, and OAuth secret is another. So let's try to find it. Should be somewhere here. API keys, OAuth client IDs, and service accounts. So we have to create credentials. Am I right? Yes, create credentials, OAuth client ID. Let's do this. Which application type we will work with? Will be a web application. Name, web Creatio client. Let it be so. Then we have to specify a full URL of our JavaScript origin. So we will use full address of our app here. Okay. And okay. Then we have to do very important settings. Authorized redirect URLs. We have a newer version of Creatio, so we have to put both links here. I understand that it's a bit hard to remember, so you should follow manual each time you do this. And we have to provide these authorized redirect URLs here. One, but please note, of course, we have to take care about our website URL here. So let's take this part, the URL, and put it here. Okay. And then one more. We have another URL here. 0 REST Google Auth Authenticator. Avoiding extra dashes. Okay, seems to be good. Seems to be good and correct. It's these are very important settings. It will not work if it will not do correctly. Okay, then we have to get client ID and client secret. Okay, create. So we will have client ID and client secret, and we can download this file as a JSON. So maybe you would like to keep your values separately and somewhere in safe place. So let's try to do this. I will copy client ID and put it to a file which I named safe place. Client ID, client secret. As you see, it's quite comfortable. So we get it and saved it into a safe place. Okay, got it. So now we almost finished this part, and we have to follow to Creatio side. So we have to set up such Google keys in Creatio. We have a couple of places where we have to do this. First, we have to go to special system settings. And that's why we will go to system settings section at our Creatio system. Then we will search for Google Consumer Code. Okay, let's try to do this. Add filter, searching by code, Google Consumer, access key in secret. So services access key, it's our client ID. Am I right? Yes. Consumer key, access secret. secret, and access key, it means client ID. We have to specify default value taken from safe place and save it, go, and then we will take a secret and also we'll save it. So the reason of this is how it works. Creatio will use such client ID and secret to connect to third parties, so to connect to Gmail services, and will provide it, and that's how Google Mail and other Google services will know that we are valid users. This technology is based on OAuth protocol, OAuth version 2 protocol, and all we have to do to set up such settings, and that's not all. We also have to find the place. So here is Google consumer key. We already set it. Yes, we already set consumer key and client secret. And also please note one more settings: use Google shared application. Let's check just for Google. Use Google. Okay. Use Google shared application. Our menu tells us that it must be off. Let's check. It's off. Okay, good. Then we have to do some settings. So enter Google keys for email synchronization. It tells us, so we have to log in into Google account and to have a new mailbox in Creatio. Okay, so we have our Google account ready, and then we have to set up email provider for Google Mail. Okay, let's do this. So I can do this by, and this is an IMAP. Okay, we have it. Let's go to lookups, find email provider domains. We have to go here, and we already have out of the box Gmail setting here. So let's try to edit it. No, it was not correct. List of email providers here. Gmail, edit. Here we have a lot of settings. The type of this provider is IMAP. It was done by default, and please note that here we have some setting which we must change. So login format, menu, mailbox name. Okay, what would it be? Maybe use email address will be better. Type is name is Gmail, and the authentication type we have to check and switch it to OAuth. Let's show me. So here we have these important settings. Type should be OAuth version 2, and we have two important parameters here. So previously we used the system settings for calendar integration, and here we have to use same client ID and the client secret for email integration with Google. So that's why we'll use this client ID again, client secret from our safe place again, and we will apply it, close, and that's how it works. So now it seems we are ready to check our Google integration. Let's try to do this. So we have this Gmail settings app made correctly. We can close it, and let's try to check our integration with email. Just for you to remember, we are still using cloud-based instance. It means that we already have email listener set up. If you are using local environments, you will have to take care about setting up email listener. We have a separate articles about it, and we already have separate video for setting up Exchange Listener, and it was renamed after it was renamed into Email Listener. So it's a separate software, separate service to be installed if you use Creatio locally. I'm using it in cloud settings. That's why I already have proper settings for a cloud-based email listener. So how to do our settings? We can look at existing mailbox settings. We have no mailboxes, and we can register one more. So let's try to do this. I want to register my personal email box. As you see, I have to log in at Google using this Google credential. Google did not verify this app. I'm using external user, and I have, okay, that's just a confirmation. Continue. And Creatio.com wants access to my Google account. Read, create, send emails. Okay. Calendar resources. Okay. Contacts. Okay, but Creatio now has disabled its integration with the context. So, okay, let it be. Make sure I trust. Yes, sure. Let's continue. Now we go back to Creatio, and now our settings are done. They tell me that I successfully registered my email account. Would I like to download emails? No. Please note that generally downloading all emails from your email into Creatio is probably not the best idea, and you should think about it. Would you like to do this or not? I prefer not to do this automatically. If you need it, for example, in order to automate your work with support team automation, so you have some kind of technical email like support@yourcompany.com, and you want to get such emails automatically to your system, then of course it makes sense. Also, you may do downloading emails from a specific folders, not all the folders from your email, but from specific ones, and maybe you would like to use some rules at your email server to select what email you want to download into Creatio. I think there is no sense to blindly download all the emails that you have in your mailbox, including all the spam, including all the private messages into Creatio. So it's up to you, but you can decide. The most common use of this is that you will send messages from Creatio, and that's why this option is turned on by default. And we will use this address as a default mailbox. Let it be so. If necessary, for example, to organize automated email sending from your processes and sharing this account with different people at your Creatio, you can enable shared access, and you can specify which user or role will be able to use same account for your email sending, usually made automatically from business processes. In my case, I will just use as is for such settings, and then let's try to check how it works. We can easily create a new email using this communication panel and plus email button. So let's try to send some messages to some so it's another email, and so it's kind of test message. We will send this message from Gmail address. Let's try to send it. And I will try to check it. It's my another personal address. Yes, it works nice. So I received this email. It's okay. So you can change it and you can check it yourself. It's up to you. So my sending email was done correctly. I can see what incoming emails or outgoing emails I have here. So this email was sent correctly, and it means that my integration with emails works nice. I also can check my email account from this. So here is Gmail, sent. So you see all my sent messages are here, and it works nice. One of the another function which we have in this integration is organizing a Google Calendar. So we can integrate calendar with Creatio, and we have some settings for this. Synchronize contacts and activities with Google. Please note that starting from version 8, contacts synchronization is no longer supported, but we're interested in synchronizing activities. So we can go to activities section, synchronize, and start synchronization there. And so if we create an activity at Creatio, by the way, it makes sense to look at it like this. So if we create a new activity, let's check how it works. So I created it. I expect it to be synchronized with Google. Maybe we will see it somewhere here. And also we can create a Google Calendar item. Here, and then soon it will appear in my Creatio. Let's try to refresh this. So it usually takes some time. It's performing in the background with a particular frequency. So when you run, and we have a manual action, synchronize now. Okay, new account for synchronization. We have some settings for such synchronization. Agree to confirm, so we confirm that we agree to get access to Google services and Google Calendar. So my synchronization now started. Let's try to synchronize now. That tells me shorter period. Yes, yes, it would be nice. So synchronize calendar automatically every minute, starting from, okay, let it be starting from today. So not include any previous history. Save it. Synchronize now. Okay. This task should go to the calendar. I also expect items created in calendar to appear at Creatio. This operation is performed in the background, so possibly we have to wait some time for this. Last time I tested it, it worked nice. Maybe not so fast. Every minute, starting from today. Maybe it takes a bit more time to do this. Okay, in order to save our time, we can switch to next topic. So you saw that email integration works nice. It performs outgoing emails. I'm just so did not try to use incoming emails, but you see that if you connected successfully to Gmail, so you will definitely have possibility to get incoming emails as well. And let's move on. Our next topic was to connect another type of integration, Microsoft Exchange integration, to Creatio, and using also we will use again auth authentication for this. Let's try to check. Possibly we have to so I expect that such items appear soon. Last time I tested it, it worked nice. Okay, let's focus on next topic with auth authentication of Microsoft Exchange. This is also quite tricky stuff because we have a lot of settings where you can do mistakes, and we have to start from auth authentication first and then switch to this article for email settings. So first we have to set up authentication at Microsoft Office 365. Luckily, I already have my own corporate account at Microsoft Office 365, and I will try to use it. So let's try to follow all of this manual and try to do steps for setting up this type of connection. By the way, this will give us possibility to send emails from our Microsoft account, from our Exchange email server. Also, we will be able to receive emails from this email server, and as well we will be able to manage calendar, and we will be able to track, so to synchronize events from calendar. Let's try to do this. So we have to register our application inside of Azure Active Directory. We have to follow this using Microsoft documentation. Let's try to do this. Here is our setup. We have an account. So to register an application, we have to go to Azure portal. I'm using my corporate email for this, as you see. And let's try to do this. So I have to register a new application there and specify redirect URI. Let's try. App registration. Maybe it will be faster for us to find it from search. We have some kind of previously tested example, so we will do one more. Let it be Creatio demo 2 for my organization only. Let it be, because I only want to use it from my account and maybe some other corporate accounts. And redirect URI should be selected here. As you see, it's important. And I must use my address with this link. Let's make it carefully. It will be a web application, but please note we have to provide correct website code. Sorry. Paste. Okay, seems to be good enough. Perfect. Then almost nothing else. Register. Perfect. Azure will assign unique ID for my application. This will be my application client ID. So I already have my application client ID, this one. We already can copy it into our safe place. Here it is. It's important. And what we need next, let's look at it. So we have to look at web API permissions. Credentials, manage the application, account type, API permissions, probably here. As you see, we have many other different settings. We just use only a small part of it. So we'll try to follow manual and let's do this. So API permissions are already using Microsoft Graph permission to get some user profile, and also we need Office 365 Exchange Online support API. Let's try to do this. Add permission, use search, this one, type of permissions that your application require, and what we have here, delegated permission. Okay. We have to find EWS access as user all. This one, and perfect. One more is Microsoft Graph user read is already added here. Let's check it. Yes, this one already done. Now, not this nor this require admin consent, and that's why we will skip this step. It's a bit unusual, but it seems that we have nothing to do this. Microsoft doesn't allow us to click here because nobody, so nothing from this requires this consent. Okay, seems to be good enough for this. Okay, required status. Okay, good. What's next? So we have to get a secret key. So this is application secret, and we have to copy this key into our settings for Exchange connection. So let's take this secret. We can get it from certificates and secrets. You can read more about this. By the way, it's quite obvious how to do this, so we can get it from this documentation, but it seems that it's more or less obvious how to do this. So we will generate new client secret. We'll make a description, demo secret for, and it will expire in 3 months. Okay. Here we have a value. This is a client secret value. Please don't mix it with secret ID. It's not what we need at all. So client value is one of the important things here. And we have to put it in a safe place. As you see, my file is called safe place. So it's safe. I'm kidding. So let's do this. Okay, we did all the steps at Microsoft part. Then we have to go back to our Exchange settings. So here we're already done with this auth authentication. Let's set up Mailbox Exchange. So now we'll register Mailbox settings, and we have to go at our lookups again. We should find a list of email providers. And please note here, so I found this that it's not exactly as specified here, but it looks like it should do this setting for our Exchange server provider. So here is our Office 365 with the type Exchange, which was out-of-the-box setting inside of our Creatio list of existing mailboxes. You can create it from scratch if you want. So here you should know that the service type is Microsoft Exchange. There are two options like IMAP and Exchange, and login format. Let it be email address, service name, okay, and authentication type. Basic authentication is now outdated and already deprecated by Microsoft, so you should not use it in your solutions unless you have any any other ways to do it. So we will switch it into auth 2, and application client, here is our safe place. We'll take it from here and put here, and application secret from Azure. Okay, here, perfect. We have to apply this to save it, and it seems to be successful. Okay. So that's how we made the changes inside of our mailbox settings. And now the easiest part is to go to our list of mailboxes, register one more. Here is my corporate email account on Microsoft Exchange inside of Office 365. And here you will see how we will register it. So we have to select our Office 365. Then we have to confirm that we logged in. And they say me that this registered app is trying to access my mailboxes, sign in, and read my profile data. Okay, I accept it. By the way, you see that all operations I do in Google Chrome. It's also important, I think. So they tell me that would you like to download all the emails for last week? No, thank you. We do not want to automatically download emails. As you see, it's also turned off by default. We can send emails from Creatio, maybe using this mailbox as default now. And probably that's all. Also, it makes sense to look at the calendar settings. It takes time. So let's do synchronizing calendar for 1 week. Import meetings from Exchange from my Exchange server. Okay. Import tasks, maybe export activities. Okay, send it. Save. And let's see how it works. First, we'll check our email server. Let's make a message from Creatio to here is my test message from Exchange. Sending it. We can check it at our Gmail. Here you see my Gmail received this email. Perfect. So it seems that sending of email works. I think there is a very high chance that my incoming emails will also work now, so it's not a big trouble. And you see we can check all the email accounts here, so it seems that our email functions are working. So let's check activities. now you see some Google Calendar activities came for me. So now Google integration works. So it takes a while for this integration to start working. So we can check, for example, create one more activity. So we can make this activity to be transferred into Exchange. And we have to set up integrations for, okay, we have this for 1 week and all this stuff to be transferred. I should use my, okay, maybe I could use my Teams software. To demonstrate. So you can see some personal meetings, but also you can see that some tasks made from Creatio are now transferred into Teams and inside of my Exchange. So I definitely have, sorry, probably this. And so I definitely have this integration working right now. And it means that we made sure that we can get information from our, by the way, you see some integration already obtained data from, so here you see some stuff already appeared inside my calendar from my Exchange list of activities. So this integration works. This one also works. So that's how you may do. You may change settings and they will be applied accordingly to another, so to its Exchange part. And it means that our integration with activities works nice, and you can also check how it works. So that's all for today. We already successfully set up integration with Google services, with Exchange services, and you see it takes maybe up to 20 or 30 minutes to set up each one. So I wish you good luck with setting such integrations, and all the information that you need you can find at such manuals. And I hope this session, this video will be helpful for your settings. Thank you.